Hello everyone, and welcome back to the OSIEZONE, where I talk about whatever the freaking heck I want. I'm your host, Ozzy Kaplan. And WW... Oh! That's how I've been feeling today. Really navigating through, not necessarily the challenges of life. I mean, yeah, there's always challenges, but the way I'm looking at my challenges, which is really the definition of a challenge, because everything is how you look at it. So all challenges are just perceived challenges. But I like challenges, though. I love a challenge. I love to feel like I'm achieving something. I love to feel like I'm, leveling up in life. But also, I feel like the constant need to strive for a leveling up is reductive of the human experience and the duality that we're all constantly going through. Because what does objectively better mean? You know what I mean? Let me plug my darn phone in so that I can freaking read my little notes. Okay. What the frick is going on, you guys? There are some things I want to talk about today. And I'm going to start off with why I'm using my webcam. Because I've gotten a lot of comments, both saying, like, I really enjoyed the nostalgia of this, and did I just unplug my phone? Wow. I really enjoy the nostalgia of this webcam thing that you're doing, Ozzy, and, like, it's really bringing me back to old YouTube. And then I've gotten comments like, yeah, why did your camera quality decrease? Why is it looking like you're filming on a potato? I'm not necessarily upset about that. I don't really care. But it kind of brought me into thinking about the authenticity of art and bringing, like, the balance of bringing your true authentic self versus, like, production quality, and also caring about the quality of your art and the way that it's delivered to your audience. I want everyone who watches my videos to have a good time watching my videos, obviously. I mean, I have a microphone because I care about audio quality. This is more of a type of video that I would like people to listen to rather than to watch. And my personal preference in my art is I really like lower camera quality. And that definitely is a nostalgia thing, or it's just a, like, cool, hip, I'm with the times, like, kid thing. We're all very into nostalgia, as I've talked about. But the reason I use a webcam is because this is how I naturally, this encourages me more to sit down and make a video. It's much easier for me to sit down and press OK on my computer. This is my MacBook Pro webcam, by the way. If people have asked what camera I'm using, MacBook Pro webcam. I already have my mic plugged into my interface, so everything, I can just sit down and make a video, and it uploads to YouTube within like 20 minutes, whereas if I make a video on my real camera, it takes like 30 hours to upload to YouTube, which pisses me off, which makes me upload less. And this is also where I do my video diaries. And I've said this before, I've been doing, like, video journaling for the past, like, 3 years, and I will sit down and I will rant at this very camera about my personal life, about everything that's trying me in life. And I've actually thought a lot about wanting to go through those diaries and kind of make a compilation of my growth throughout life, and, leave out the super personal stuff, but you know what I mean. But I want to share that authenticity with the world, because whenever I sit down and I make a video journal, it's coming from my true emotions. And when I do the same ritual of sitting down and pressing play on the webcam and just having whatever word comes out of my mouth, like, whatever comes out of my mouth, like, be that, it's really, it feels like the most authentic way I can bring myself to you guys. So here's me in front of my webcam. Yeah. It's really weird how, if you want to survive kind of as an artist, or if you want it to be, like, your job, algorithms are entwined with that now. Like, you have to think about what an algorithm will think, which is already just an element of, technology, and, like, the robots are taking over in our making of our art and selling of ourselves as a brand, which, I don't know, there's the paradigm of, like, you're selling who you are, your image, in order to make money. That's insane. But if you're doing a regular 9-to-5 job working for some corporation, you're selling yourself to that corporation. Everyone is a prostitute. We are all doing prostitution in some form, I swear. I don't even remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. Having to think about the algorithm, and what's the algorithm going to think of my art? Is it going to show my art to people? And then also having to think of, like, I want to express myself authentically. When people sit down and they make, like, a song, and they're making it to go viral for that purpose, you're going, did I just make this song this summer? I'm sure the thought of wanting an audience to like your music comes to every musician's mind when they're making a song. It definitely comes to mine. I'm like, of course I want people to like my art. But you can't, if you are only thinking about that, and if that has a really heavy weight on your creative process, which is one of the hardest barriers, I think, to break as an artist, if you want to make that your profession. If you have that too heavy of an influence, what's everyone else going to think? Your art isn't going to come out as authentic or, like, honestly, as good. It's the weird shit that moves every movement forward. It's the weird stuff. It's the stuff that gets hate. It's the stuff that no one's doing. And then comes the whole cultural wave of, like, I liked it before I was cool, and you blah, 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 and then everyone starts copying it. If you're trying to copy someone else, you're late to the game. Minus the fact that everything comes from inspiration. And what is originality? Because we're all just grabbing thoughts from, like, the ether. Oh my god. But trying to, have authenticity in your art while also appealing to an algorithm is, I just think, the most interesting and odd balance ever. So my recommendation in that field is, if you are an artist and it's your profession and you start to tie your creative process to capitalism and work, it can be really exhausting. And the one practice I feel that grounds me personally as an artist is having time where you create just for yourself, not for anybody else's eyes to see. Like, I have songs I make that are just for me. I'm probably not ever going to release them because, boo-hoo, I'm self-conscious. But they mean a lot to me. And sometimes when I make projects that are just for me and no one else, I listen to them enough and I hear them enough, and I actually like these things that I make for myself because they're made for myself. Then I end up wanting to put them out in the world anyway because I go, well, this is awesome. And everyone's perception of your art is going to be different. No, like, that's what your art means to you. It'll never mean the same thing to somebody else because everybody has had such an individualistic experience. And also, especially when it comes to making music, actually any type of art, you've looked at that thing, you've heard that thing a gazillion times. People are not listening to your song being like, man, she should have put the high-end frequencies just like a little bit more up on this one. What am I talking about? I can't, like, speak like a producer, bro. I produce so much, I don't care about the jargon. She should have did a low-pass filter. They're not, why would they think about that? That hi-hat, the decibels are not high enough. Okay. And if people are thinking about that, it's like, girl, take that energy that you're using to critique others' work so harshly and go make your own shit. Go make your own art. Oh my god, it's lame and it's boring and you're corny and you feel the need to comment on somebody else's. I love when people give constructive criticism. There are some, like, hate comments or snarky comments I get where I'm like, wait, you're valid. You're literally valid. I'm literally going to take that to heart. Because you can tell when somebody's intentions are genuine. And it's not like, this video's stupid. It's like, hey, I really liked what you had to say about this. But in my opinion, I agree with that. I think this is a place where we should all share our opinions. And this is another thing that I think is happening with just the world and navigating conflict through the world. I think that we're all really angry about our circumstances. And obviously the biggest thing I'm noticing right now that I'm really happy about is the people are trying to shift our view from, like, it's not you against this guy, it's not you against your neighbors, it's not you against these other working class people. The battle is up and down. Like, it's the 1% versus the rest of us. everything else matters. But when we tackle this class issue and dismantle these systems, that's when all the other stuff is going to be able to be sorted out, because everything else is perpetuated. Like, our suffering as middle-class people, poor people, working people is perpetuated because of those who are trying to ban TikTok right now. Bachowski. So yeah, have a private art practice, make art only for you sometimes, okay? And let's freaking band together and dismantle these systems, bro. I want to have more to say. I don't know, so many things I feel like I have passion about, like so many issues I have passion about, but I just don't feel like I see other people articulate themselves so much better than I could. So recently I've just been trying to like get educated on topics that matter to me, and I feel like if people are like, woke nation, why is everyone so woke? I feel like it can feel scary to research into topics that are fucked up. Why certain crises are happening. The oppression of so many people. It can be scary to research those topics because once you know that something is messed up, it hurts. It hurts. And ignorance is bliss. And I'm not gonna sit here and be all righteous and be like, yeah, well, like, you have to get freaking educated, like, it's your duty as a human, like, we do owe that to humanity. But I totally understand the fear behind not wanting to get educated on these topics because it's scary. And when you realize how scary the world is and how terrible we are being to each other and how interconnected and seemingly unstoppable all of it is, it can feel paralyzing. Why would you take time out of your peaceful day, maybe, you know, not every day is peaceful, but out of your, like, you know, you have a house to live in, you have running water, maybe you can even afford groceries, you know, your bills are paid, you work hard to do that, and it's just like, oh, why would I take time out of my day to learn about the people suffering in another country or the harm that my government is perpetuating? You know, my life is hard enough paying these bills, and I don't need more of that depression in my life. Totally understandable viewpoint, and a fear that I struggle to get past. Because fear it's paralyzing. It's paralyzing. But there is also the deep feeling inside of, how can I feel okay when the rest of humanity, my family, we are all the human is family, okay? The earth is family, animals are family. When the rest of my family, worldwide, they're not okay. How could I possibly allow myself to feel okay? And I guess that's the trouble I've been having navigating that. It's been like weird, because you're not gonna get off your ass and help somebody if you're sitting there feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, I just can't move. The world is so scary. Like, I don't deserve what I have. That is not where we should be coming from. We should not be. The reason we're researching these topics is to become more educated and more empathetic and able to navigate the world in a more conscious way. We're not doing this so we can go back and sit on our asses and feel sorry for ourselves that we have to be knowledgeable about all these terrible things that's happening to everyone else. That's not going to get you anywhere. Feeling sorry for yourself is not going to get you anywhere. And letting the paralyzing guilt of knowing the suffering that your fellow humans are going through isn't going to get you anywhere. Love is going to get you somewhere. Revolt, revolution, often, it comes from a strong sense of being fed up and hatred of the systems, hatred of oppression, but hatred of oppression is just a love for love. If you see people being oppressed and just like terrorized, the reason you hate that is because you believe those people deserve love. You love the idea of everyone getting to live a loving and fulfilling existence. Hatred can be, usually I say hatred is a misdirection of love. But sometimes it's a necessary transmutation of love, I guess. And if we see people and we go, I love you, I don't think you should have to suffer, that means you're gonna hate what's making them suffer. And what's making us suffer is not each other. Okay? It's those fuckers. So now this is just turning into an anti-government rant. So hopefully they don't, like, whatever, YouTube. Love you, YouTube. Thanks for letting me have free speech. That was a whole tangent that I went off on. Anyway, trying to get more educated on topics and come from an empathetic, understanding point and letting the world educate me on issues. And I don't know, dude. I'm only 20. I feel very young and very scared, and I've always been scared since I started hearing about the news as a kid or caring a little bit about politics. But education doesn't have to be scary as long as you want your fellow humans to be okay. Like, okay. I want to show you guys something. I'll be right back. It's on my bed. 1 second. So I have 4 kids. They're not literal kids. And the other 2 are over there. Look what I bought. Okay, wait. It's not just him, though. He's weighted. I don't know if it's a he or a she or a they. We'll figure that out. There's a baby. The baby is weighted as well. It is just smaller. You guys, my sweet babies. The way that I actually feel like paternal. Guys, I have this thought all the time where I'm like, I want to be a dad. I want to be a father. And my best friend and I, we keep talking about our bone marrow baby that we're going to make. Because, you know, when, like, 2 people with uteruses, like, I guess, like, they can make a bone marrow baby or something. I don't think that science is fully developed. I would rather have a mutant baby with her than, like, a regular baby with some, like, dude, though. But we want to make a bone marrow baby, and that would just be our dream. And that's another thing. It's like the world is ending, but, like, I still want a freaking baby. For now, though, I have these 2. And this is my kid, and this is my grandson. So yeah, I genuinely feel like these are my kids. I take them everywhere. I've taken my other one to like 4 different states. America is so weird. In California, I feel like I live in a California bubble. And they say that, you know, people don't like Californians. And I'm okay with that because, like, I like being a Californian, so what does that freaking matter? What does your freaking opinion matter, dude? Whatever. Okay, here's what else I want to talk about. And that's actually leads me right into my next topic, which is I love being a person who likes myself. To a lot of people, that may sound self-absorbed. And when I start to rant about this topic, usually I disclaim it with, like, I don't want to sound self-absorbed. And I really try not to, because I do like who I am, but I'm always willing to, I'm always trying to diversify my view of the world. I think I'm the best at being me. But it's good to operate off of an inherent basis of, like, I am superior to no one and inferior to no one. Because so much is just decided by, like, fate and where you're born in the world and the opportunities that you're afforded. And there are plenty of things you can do to optimize who you are as a person and to, like, I guess, advance mentally, physically, in all aspects, just as a human, consciously. But at the end of the day, like, we're all just a glob of matter on a rock. So, what the heck? But And so that brings me to, why not like yourself? You know, if we're all just globs of matter on a rock, why not, like, enjoy being the specific glob of matter that you are? Because you deserve that. Like I said before, you gain nothing. You gain nothing from pitying your own existence and from hating yourself. I mean, okay, anything can have gain. You can gain something from hating yourself if you learn from it. And this is what I'm going to get into. So I love being a person who likes myself because I didn't always like myself. No, like, what? There's plenty of times now when I don't like myself or the way I'm acting, but I love myself on, like, a baseline level of, like, I'm me. I look in the mirror, I go, okay, so this is us, dude. It's you and me, bro. And we have to do this for the rest of our lives. Our life. Together. You're all I got. I need to love you like a best friend. I need to love you like we're married. I need to love you like family, because what the freak? If I sit here thinking, oh my god, don't like myself, how am I gonna help anyone else? How am I gonna help myself? How am I gonna serve others and take this energy that I have to help the world and put it out there if I don't like myself first? This all comes back to, like, who you surround yourself with and your ideations about yourself. I have, I think everyone, you'll always have bits of insecurities, but sometimes I think about how insecure I used to be. And I made a video on TikTok, like, a couple weeks ago, or, like, a week ago, and I was just, like, apologizing to 15-year-olds, because I was like, I'm so sorry that you have to be 15. It's really difficult, and it's terrifying, and you feel like no one's ever gonna love you. And I want to touch more on that, because the reason I said that is 15 is the most difficult age I could think of that I went through. Just, like, pretty much the entire year of 2019, actually. Because you have puberty, you have your hormones. I've always been a hopeless romantic, and I always dreamed of love and romance, so I'm dealing with all that. And then also, like, I didn't really feel liked by the people I was hanging out with. I felt like kind of a nuisance to everyone. And I mean, if you're watching this video and you're familiar with who I am, you know that I have a very loud and expressive personality. I'm constantly making noises and doing a bunch of vocal stems and being really loud and speaking my mind. For some reason, I think I have the agency to sit on the internet and speak for 30 minutes or an hour, however long, and people will listen to it. And somehow I was right about that, mostly because I believed in myself, pretty much only because I believed in myself. So I used to feel really annoying. And I would constantly go on and on about it. I would be like, I'm so annoying, I'm just the worst, no one's ever gonna love me, and I'm ugly, and I'm stupid. One of the things I said about myself the most was, I'm stupid. Way to make people think you're smart? Like, what? And I think it was a combination in synergy, not positive synergy, a combination in synergy of me saying I was annoying and people thinking I was annoying. People probably thought I was a little annoying, so I started saying it about myself, and I started saying it about myself, which made people think it more. Literally, the things you say about yourself go into people's heads, and they plant right in their subconscious. Bam, shapow, shabang, shabab. Yeah, so that was just kind of reinforcing itself and my insecurities about just the way I acted and the way that I existed in the world. But that's just teenhood. And then on top of that, it's like I'm going after the worst. I wanted the worst boyfriend imaginable. I don't know why or what compulsory heterosexuality was happening with me at age 15. But I would go about and I would go, I want a boyfriend who's addicted to drugs and is gonna treat me not well. Thank God I didn't get what I wanted. Jesus. Anyway, that was 15 for me. Just hated myself. And then, the pandemic happened. I got into a relationship that was a positive reinforcement of my self. Thank God that I was sent a positive experience for my first, romantic experience. Shout out. But, then the pandemic happened and I was locked inside, and then I kind of had to stop hanging out with all the people who made me feel really bad about myself, and then I really had to go within, and that is when I started my spiritual journey. And I started really looking around and evaluating my consciousness and the synchronicity of everything happening around me. And in realizing that I am just, an element of the universe moving about, it gave me a sense of love for myself and for the unseen that animates me. And I think in that, people talk a lot about self-love, especially in the body positivity movement. They talk about body neutrality and just self-neutrality. And I think that's a great mentality to have, of just, again, neutral. I'm equal to everybody. Everybody is equal. I am above and below no one. That's a great baseline, and that will make you, coincidentally, like yourself a lot more. If you don't think yourself as beneath everyone. So, yeah, that journey of liking myself comes through consistent care and trust in myself. I wouldn't like myself as much if I didn't hold myself accountable to do the things that I know are good for me every day. Every day I wake up and I meditate for 20 minutes, and I try to go on a walk and do a little workout with my mom, and we make breakfast together, and that's how I start every day. And I know that's something that keeps me grounded. I let myself teeter-totter off the routine. If I go out and have a crazy night, I'll let myself sleep in. It's also about having kindness and grace with yourself. I nourish my body. It's all about balance. Everything's about balance. I don't do substances really or anything like that. I'm just a pretty chill guy. I'm just pretty chill. Yeah. And now that I'm at this point, dude, everyone has self-deprecating thoughts sometimes. Like I've said before, there's plenty of stuff about myself that I go, God, Rosie, can you just stop it? Overthinking everything. Half the time I don't even let myself live or just actually have an experience because I'm so absorbed in thought about, what does this mean? What does this experience mean in the grand scheme of things? Shut up. Am I allowed to have fun? I'm 20. Am I allowed to have fun? And something I realize about my overthinking is that it's the opposite of all my kind of spiritual values. What do they say? When I read Taoist books, they're if you try to be something, there's that conjures up a force against that thing. Trying to be sage-like and spiritual and smart and intellectual and philosophical creates a counterforce. And you can't be that thing because you're trying. And in denying myself present moment experiences and fucking around and finding out, in denying myself that and forcing myself to be such an intellectual, I completely cancel out what I claim to be about, which is philosophy and thinking about your actions. I love to think about my actions. I do think people need to think about their actions before they do them. But when you get to this meta level of overthinking and then overthinking your overthinking, which is what I'm doing right now, it just gets whackadiculous, honestly. And Jeepers Creepers. I don't even know what I've just talked about for the last 30 minutes. But yeah, I like myself now. And it's a struggle sometimes. But again, at the core of everything, I happy fuck with myself. So, that's lit. That's legitness. And I don't know, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful And a part of liking yourself is also knowing that, like, it's not just this self-righteousness of, like, I do everything right, and everything I do is right, and I'm just the best person, and I'm self-absorbed, and I don't have to listen to any of you. That's just, like, egoic bullshit. What self-love really is no matter my flaws, I'm always willing to grow. I'm always willing to grow, and I support myself in my growth. And I support myself in this human journey, okay? That's what's beautiful about it, okay? Okay? Yeah, I'll probably make more videos on that about self-love, because it's a really interesting topic, and I also have a lot to debate about the fact of, like, why are we so focused on ourselves? And the individualism. Because also, when I struggle with insecurity, when I struggle with any issue that's, like, me-centric, me thinking about myself, I end up being, like, what fixes that for me is when I reorient and go, well, how could I be helping others right now instead of thinking about myself and my issues? How could I be helping others from a place of love? And when I want to improve myself, like, why don't I improve myself so I can help others? And there's also a line between helping others and people-pleasing. They're very different things, and it's everything is about balance. And I feel like that's just the conclusion I come to with every single thing I've ever thought about in my entire life. Everything is about balance. So, yeah, that puts me at 30 minutes. I'm gonna go to a birthday party. And I'm gonna have fun, and I'm gonna dance around. Because I'm allowed to have fun. I'm 20, and I'm allowed to have fun. And I've been trying to be so grown up my whole fucking life. And allowing yourself to be a little dumb is the smartest thing you can do. Happy 2025 again, everyone. I love you. The universe loves you. And even if you don't feel like it yet, you have the power to love you. Just like I do. Okay. Peace out. I'll see you in the next OSIEZONE. Thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers. It was always my dream as a little girl to be able to do this, and I can't believe you guys actually like it. I can't believe it. Except I can believe it. Here we are. My destiny. I feel like an anime character where they're like, I'm the chosen one. I must achieve my dreams. That's me. Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Love you. Osie out. Mwah.